Namaste, peace and blessings. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am subbing for Helly today. I appreciate you all for showing up. What we're going to need for our session today is maybe grab some water, maybe a yoga strap if that feels good for you, maybe a yoga block. Just finding our bodies in a comfortable seated pose. Any easy seat that feels good for you, may you find your position. As we're using our easy seat to help relax and wind down the mind and body. Spinal cords are nice and elongated, meaning we're not sunken. Having that nice elongated spine helps us relax and soothe the body. With our shoulders relaxed downward away from our ears, as we slightly gaze our eyes downward or close our eyes if that feels good for you. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Breathe in deeply. Exhale fully. Taking a moment to notice how the breath feels within the body. As we breathe our palms at heart center, coming into a seated prayer. Using this time to go inward, silent meditation, 5 natural breaths. Two more breaths. Breathe in. Exhale. Flowing our palms downward towards the earth. Using this time to tune into our environment, just checking in with what's going on around us. And during our session here today, we may hear noises and sound. We may become distracted. However, may we only allow in what is comforting and soothing for us in our practice here today. 2 more breaths. As we allow our bodies to lean towards the right, left hand comes up over the head. We're going to feel this side stretch in that side body. Slightly gazing up at the heavens, if that feels good for you. Noticing that when you slightly gaze up, you might feel that spinal twist. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling to center, both palms are connected to the earth. As we allow our bodies to lean towards the left, right arm flows up above the head, feeling that side stretch. Optioning to gaze up at the heavens, opening up their heart chakra, feeling that slight spinal twist. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling back to center, connecting the palms to the earth. Just taking a moment to notice how we feel within our bodies. We're going to breathe our palms up, above, fingertips flows towards nice long stretch. Interlacing those fingers with the pointer finger pointing up towards the heavens as we allow our arms to slightly flow towards the back of the room. And feel your pelvic bone tilt forward, their heart chakra is lifted, chin is up. Optioning to squeeze the back blades together. Okay, breathing our palms at heart center. Taking a nice breath. Exhale. We're going to hang out here for a couple breaths, just going inward. Eyes are gazed downward or closed. Breathe in. Exhale. As we flow our fingers to our shoulders, we're going to do a couple of shoulder rolls. Rolling our shoulders towards the back. We are working the upper parts of our bodies, our back blades. And we can go as fast or as slow as we choose. Taking nice, subtle breaths. As we find that pause, we're going to rotate in the opposite direction, going forward. 2 more breaths. As we find our pause at center, relaxing our palms downward towards our laps. As we relax those shoulders down away from the ears, we're going to breathe our feet to a bound position, coming into a diamond or a butterfly. The bottoms of our feet are connecting. We're going to work on opening up our hips here. And at diamond, our feet are further away from the body, and a butterfly, the feet are closer to the body. So doing what feels best for you. As we tilt that pelvic bone forward, heart chakra lifts up, chin is up, coming into a cow pose. Maybe allowing your head to relax between your shoulder blades. 2 breaths. As we flow into a cat, breathing that chin to the clavicle, tummies are tucked, spinal cord flows to the back of the room. As we do a couple of cat cows to our natural breath. Two more breaths. As we find that pause at center, we're going to slightly hinge at the hips. Noticing that when you hinge at the hips, you'll feel a little deeper stretch in your inner thighs. So only hinging forward as much as your body comfortably allows you to hinge. Optioning to allow those shoulders to melt forward to the earth. Maybe dropping that head downward towards your feet if that feels good. Feeling that nice stretch in your inner thighs as well as your lower back. Taking a nice breath. Exhale. Gaze in the eyes down. 4 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling up, coming back into that diamond or that butterfly. We're going to flow back into that cow. Exhale, cat. Come into a neutral position. As we breathe our legs inward, coming into a staff pose. Legs are parallel, side by side. Toes can be pointing upwards towards the heavens, or they can be pointing downward towards the earth. Whatever feels good for you. That back is nice and elongated. Heart chakra is lifted. Chin is up. Taking a breath. Exhale. As we hinge at the hips, coming into that seated half forward fold. As we are gazed straight ahead. Optioning to breathe the hands down to the ankles or the feet, coming into a complete forward fold, giving that body a full stretch as we lengthen here. Allowing the head and the shoulders to melt closer to the earth. Breathe in. Exhale through the mouth. 4 breaths. Two breaths. Coming up to that half forward fold. Flowing back up to that complete, let's come back to that staff pose. Backs is straight. As we breathe our palms up above our head, fingertips flows towards the heavens, interlacing those fingers, pointer finger points up, allowing the arms to slightly flow towards the back of the room. As we squeeze our back blades together, noticing how that pelvic bone tilts slightly forward. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhale into center, breathing our palms down there, heart center, palms relaxes in front of our heart, shoulders relax down away from the ears as we are gazed forward. Taking this time to check in, 3 breaths. 2 breaths. As we breathe our legs apart, coming into a wide-legged stance here. Legs are nicely spreaded, just feeling that lengthen here. We can reach our hands to our knees, our ankles, or the bottoms of our feet. Just being mindful maybe to keep that back straight. We can slightly hinge forward if that feels good within the body. Noticing that when we connect our hands to the lower parts of our bodies and we hinge forward, you'll feel that stretch behind your legs and your hamstrings. As we continue to lengthen the body, we're going to keep that heart chakra lifted and that chin up. Taking a nice breath. Exhale as we gaze those eyes downward or slightly close them. 4 breaths. Two breaths. As we allow that body to collapse forward, heart chakra comes closer to the earth, feeling that hinge in the body. It's taking nice subtle breaths, noticing how the body comes closer to the earth with each breath. Maybe dropping that head downward if that feels good. 4 more breaths. Allowing those shoulders to melt forward. 2 more breaths. And exhaling back up, breathing those legs together, coming back into that staff pose. Hinging at the hips, seated half forward fold, keeping that back straight. We're optioning to flow down to that complete forward fold. 3 breaths. Exhaling back up to our staff pose. We're going to cross our feet at our ankles, coming onto our hands and our knees, finding our bodies in a tabletop pose. Palms are flat on the earth. Knees are slightly hip distance. And we're going to drop that tummy down, coming into that cow pose. Noticing how this feels in that lumbar spine. Taking a nice breath. Exhale, flow into cat. Chin comes to clavicle. Spinal cord flows up towards the heavens, tucking that navel in. As we do a couple of cat cows to our natural breath. Hmm. 2 more breaths. As we find that pause at center, we're going to extend that right leg towards the back. And we're going to pulse that right leg up, working that gluteus maximus. We are gaze forward. We are rounding and lifting the buttocks here. We can option to just keep the leg to the back. We also can option to lower those toes downward towards the earth. Whatever feels best for you. 4 breaths. Two more breaths. As we extend that left hand forward, we are in that sunbird pose. This is a balancing pose. We are also building strength. As we are gaze forward, 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Taking that nice deep breath. Exhale, breathing that knee to that elbow, feeling that crunch. Back to bird. Knee to elbow. Back to bird. Knee to elbow. Coming back to bird. 2 breaths. Coming to table. Dropping that body down to cow. Allowing the body to relax and rest as we breathe in. Exhale, flow into cat. Coming to cow. Exhale, cat. Coming back to that table, as we extend that left leg, the opposite leg to the back, feeling that stretch, working on that gluteus maximus. We can pulse that leg up and down, feeling that burn. We also can just keep that leg still, or we can drop those toes downward towards the earth. As we are gaze forward, 4 breaths. Two more breaths. Exhaling that right arm forward, sunbird, gaze forward. Tummies are tucked in nice and tight at that navel. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. As we take that nice breath, exhale, knee to elbow, feeling that crunch. Back to bird. Knee to elbow. Back to bird. Knee to elbow. Back to bird. Gaze forward. 2 breaths. Coming back to that table, let's drop that body down to cow. Flow into cat. Coming back to table, we're going to breathe our buttocks towards our heels. Let's take a rest here in child's pose, allowing our torso to relax between the thighs. Heart chakra comes downward towards the earth. Maybe our forehead, our third eye chakra is connected to the yoga mat, if that feels good. As we gaze the eyes down, taking a nice breath. Exhale through the mouth. Feeling the shoulder blades. Forward. May that heart chakra connect to the earth. Few more breaths. As we flow up to a puppy pose, lifting our buttocks slightly up, breathing those thighs together. Now our buttocks is high in the air. We're going to keep our heart chakra downward towards the earth, connecting our forehead or our cheeks to the yoga mat. Our arms are extended in front of us, palms are flat on the earth. We are in an extended puppy pose. We can option to flow into a prayer hand puppy pose if that feels good for you. As we take that nice breath in. Exhale through the nose. 4 more breaths. Few breaths. Let's come on up to our forearms. We're going to use our feet to push our buttocks high in the air. We are in that dolphin pose. In that dolphin pose, we are gazed At the back of the room, this here is a headstand prep pose. We are in our inversion here. Just noticing how this feels within the body. This is an inversion. It is a headstand prep. If anyone gets dizzy, please flow out and come back into a child's pose or a puppy pose if you feel any type of dizziness. As the others, maybe work on building strength in our lower arms, working on our shoulder strength, working on our back strength. Optioning to pulse your toes up and down in this dolphin pose if that feels good. Noticing that as we are pulsing our toes up and down, it's like we're ready to launch our bodies up into a headstand. If you're able to flow into a headstand, feel free to do so. If not, we're just going to play around with this prep pose in our dolphin. 6 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Finding our pulse, dropping down to our knees, coming back into that puppy pose. Allowing the mind and body to relax and soothe as we take a nice breath in through our nose. Exhale through the nose. Heart chakra comes close to the earth. Third chakra connects to the yoga mat. Flowing into our prayer hand puppy pose. 4 breaths. Noticing how this puppy pose feels in that lumbar spine, your lower back. 2 more breaths. Palms are flat on the earth, extended in front of us in extended puppy pose. We're going to spinal wave our bodies here. Using the palms to wave that body forward and then using the palms to wave our buttocks towards our heels. Feeling that spine wave. We are working the entire spinal cord. Optioning to also flow your neck into this wave. Going as fast or as slow as you choose. We're going to find that pause at center. We're going to push that body up to down dog. Gazing at the feet. Tucking the tummy in at our navel as we walk our dog bipedal on our feet, left and right. Finding pause here. Just holding a pose, building strength in our arms, our shoulder blades, and our backs. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. We're going to find that pause, shift that weight forward, high plank. We are building strength. We are going to work on just strengthening the shoulders, the arms. Tummies are tucked. 2 more breaths. Exhale, back down dog, gazing at the feet. As we walk our feet forward, coming into that complete forward fold. We are in that standing complete forward fold. Our hands are connected to our lower parts of our legs or our ankles as our head melts downward towards the earth. Feeling that body lengthen and stretch. Optioning to grab your ankles from behind and Pulling your body closer towards your thighs to really feel a deeper stretch if that feels good for you. Taking a nice breath, exhaling, gazing the eyes down, just allowing the body to completely relax. We are lengthening the vertebrae in that spine, stretching and relaxing. Now here in this complete forward fold, we can have our legs slightly together, or we can come slightly wide-legged, whatever feels best for you and your body. 4 more breaths. Exhale up to a half forward fold. Just straightening that back as we are slightly gaze forward. As we yogi walk our feet slightly apart, if it's not already there. Breathe in. Exhale. Coming back down to that complete forward fold. Let's come into a ragdoll this time. Hugging our elbows with our hands, allowing that head to drop downward. Optioning to rock or sway that body from side to side. 4 breaths. 2 more breaths. Exhale into a half forward fold. We are wide-legged here in our half forward fold, or slightly wide-legged, and let's rock that body from side to side. Noticing that when we rock that body from side to side, you may feel that pull in your hamstrings, the upper parts of your thighs and the back. 2 more breaths. Finding pause. We're going to keep our feet wide-legged. We're going to slightly breathe our feet outward towards the edges. We're going to flow into a goddess stance, bending those knees, working on building strength in the lower parts of our bodies. Now we can have cactus arms. We can breathe our palms up in the air. Breathe them together. Whatever feels good for you. Cactus stance. Goddess pose. Taking nice breaths. Two more breaths, feeling the burn. Exhale up to standing star, straightening those legs. Arms are outward towards the side. Heart chakra's lifted. Chin is up. Breathe in deeply. Exhale. As we are using the breath to relax and soothe the mind and body. Two more breaths. Exhale back down to that goddess stance. And this time we're going to pulse the body up and down or rock the body from side to side. Working those muscles in our quads. We can stay still if that feels good for us as well. We don't have to pulse. 4 more breaths. Two breaths. Taking a nice breath. Exhale back up to standing star. Heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. Breathe in. Exhale. Two more breaths. Here in our standing star, let's breathe our hands into cactus hands. We're going to breathe our shoulder blades together, just squeeze in the back blades. Breathing those arms towards the back of the body. Feeling the back legs get nice and tight. We're going to hold it. 3 more breaths. 2 breaths. Exhale. Squeezing the body together, squeezing the arms together. We're going to do the peekaboo. Arms on front of the face. Peekaboo stance. Exhaling back out, squeezing the shoulder blades together, squeezing the back legs together. We are working the upper parts of our bodies here. Loosening and soothing. Heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. Exhale back to peekaboo, breathing those arms forward, covering the face. Exhaling back, squeezing the back legs. Nice and tight. Coming back to cactus hands. Bending those knees, goddess stance. Heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. Backs are nice and straight. Tummy's tucked at the navel. Holding this stance, 6 breaths. Four breaths. Three. 2 breaths. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold, connecting the hands to the ankles, the knees, or the yoga mat. Wide-legged forward fold. Feel in the heart, beat regulates. Feel in the body, relaxing. Slightly gazing the eyes down. 4 breaths. Exhale, half forward fold, wide-legged. Backs are straight. Walking our hands forward, coming back to down dog. Breathing those legs together. Tummies are tight. Flow into high plank. We're going to slightly breathe our feet slightly apart here in that high plank. Just breathing those feet slightly apart, creating that nice stance. Working the shoulders. Back legs. We're going to try something fun here with our bodies. Nice and tight and strong. We're going to try to breathe and lift our right hand off and connect it to our left shoulder. Then we're going to try the opposite. Take that left hand off the earth, bring it to that right shoulder. See how that's building strength in the shoulders, the back blades, the arms. Let's give it another go. Right hand, left shoulder. Left hand, right shoulder. Back to plank. Let's exhale down to cobra, connecting our thighs to the earth. Heart chakra's lifted, chin is up. With our thighs connected to the earth. Feeling our pelvic bone relax here. Let's flow down to a baby cobra, bending those elbows. Bodies come closer to the earth. As we flow into a Spanx pose, we are now on our forearms. Shoulders are not shrugged here in that Spanx. They are away from the ears, always having control of our bodies. Breathe in. Exhale. Feeling the eyes gaze down to close. Maybe our palms are together as they are on the earth. Maybe. Well, they could be flat on the earth. Keeping that chin up, heart chakras lifted. Taking a moment to check in with body. Noticing how we feel within, right here, right now, in our present moment. Four breaths of silence. Let's slow down to a sleeping alligator, crossing those arms in front of us. Palms are stacked on top of each other. We can rest our chin, our cheeks, or our forehead on our palms. As we feel those shoulder blades melt forward into the yoga mat, eyes are gazed downward or closed. We are one with our environment. We are connected to the universe. 5 breaths. Three more breaths. Slightly coming out. We're going to flow back into that Sphinx pose. We are on our forearms, lifting the torso slightly away from the earth. Remembering not to be shrugged, having those shoulders away from the ears. As we flow into a baby cobra, palms are flat on the earth, lifting our torso a little further away from the earth. Baby cobra. Exhaling up to cobra, straightening those elbows, feeling that deeper back bend and that cobra. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up. As we flow to up dog, taking our thighs off the earth. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up. Exhaling back to high plank. As we flow to down dog, gazing at the feet. Walking our dog by pedaling our feet. As we walk our feet towards our hands, complete forward fold, allowing that head to relax down. Exhale, half forward fold. Backs are straight, chin is up. Flowing up to a Tadasana, mountain pose. Palms are at our side. Fingertips relax downward towards the earth. Feel in the body. Stand nice and strong and firm as we are rooted in who we are. As we stand firm and solid in our beliefs, in our boundaries, in our relationships, either work or personal. We are firm. setting healthy boundaries so that we can have our peace. We are rooted. We are planted. Eyes are gazed downward or closed. Heart chakras lifted, that chin is up. Shoulders relax downward away from the ears. We are relaxed. We are strong. We are rooted. Two more breaths. Breathing our palms above our heads, coming into that standing salute. Interlacing those fingers with the pointer finger pointing up towards the heavens, allowing the arms to slightly flow towards the back of the room. Slightly squeezing the back blades together if that feels good for you. Or the shoulder blades. Exhaling back to center, separating those palms, coming into that standing extended mountain. Palms are separated. With our palms separated, allowing the body to lean towards the right, standing side bend. Leaning towards the right, slightly gazing up at the heavens if that feels good. Opening up their heart chakra, feeling that slight spinal twist. 3 breaths. Exhaling back to center. Leaning the body to the opposite side, standing side bend. Optioning to gaze up at the heavens, opening up their heart chakra. 3 breaths. 2 breaths. Exhaling back to center. Standing extended mountain. As we breathe our palms together, we're in that standing salute. Taking a nice breath. Exhale through the mouth. Palms relax down, standing salute. Palms at heart center. Our feet are still planted to the earth. Maybe our feet are slightly apart, creating that nice stance as we slightly gaze the eyes downward or close the eyes. As we prepare our mind and our bodies to finish off this year, may we do it with less stress as possible. May we only do what we can, and may we feel happy and content with how this year went, with hope and aspiration for the new year ahead, the new day ahead, the new week ahead. May we simply just be mindful of who we are, being kind to ourselves as we are kind to one another. But most importantly, being kind to oneself and forgiving to oneself. For in many cases, we are often our most hardest critic. Showing ourselves the same love and kindness we show to others. Keeping our palms at heart center, allowing our thumbs to touch the center of our chest, our sternum. We can keep their heart lifted, that chin up. We can bow our heads downward if that feels good for us. Whatever you choose, this moment is about you. This moment is about self. This moment is about going inward and knowing who you are and believing in who you are, no matter what. 6 breaths. Four breaths. 3, 2, 2. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth as we slightly hinge forward. Keeping our prayer hands if that feels good for you. Keeping that back straight. Slightly gaze forward. As we are bowing to ourselves, trusting in ourselves, and taking notice of ourselves and our intrinsic power. This is about us. 2 more breaths. Exhaling down to that complete forward fold, connecting the hands to the lower parts of the body or the ankles. Feeling that head drop. 4 breaths. Flow into a half forward fold, straightening that back. We're going to walk our hands forward, coming into a down dog. Gazing at the feet. Shifting that weight forward, high plank. Exhaling down to chaturanga, bringing that body close to the earth. Hovering over the yoga mat. Flowing down to a sphinx, or a cobra, or a baby cobra. I'm going to flow into a sphinx pose here. I'm being mindful to not shrug my shoulders, having control of my body here. Eyes are gazed downward or closed. Breathe in. Exhale. Let's flow on down to a Superman, Supergirl. We're going to breathe our arms in front of us, keeping those arms off the earth. We're also going to take the feet, the thighs off the earth. Superman, Supergirl, we are flying high in who we are. We are hovering over everything, and we are finding where we want to go and where we want to be. The choice is ours. Superman, Supergirl, the power is within. This pose is working our arms, our back blades, our gluteus maximus. 2 more breaths. Let's flow our hands to the back, coming into that locust pose. Just breathing the hands to the back. Palms are upwards, facing the heavens. Continuing to work the back blades, the arms, the legs, gluteus maximus. We are gaze forward, 4 breaths. Two breaths. Holding this pose, we're going to come into a sleeping locust, just allowing the body to just simply relax in the pose that we are in. Sleeping locust, shoulders melts downward towards the earth. Forehead comes downward towards the earth as we are resting in this pose. Taking that nice breath as the third chakra is connected to the earth as we exhale. Feeling those shoulder blades melt forward as we continue to connect to the universe. 3 breaths. Slowly exhaling out of that sleeping locust, coming back into that locust pose. The body is awakened. Heart chakra is lifted, chin is up. As we flow the hands forward, coming back into that Superman, Supergirl. 2 more breaths. Relaxing the body on the earth. Let's flow onto our side, either left or right side. We're going to work on an alligator's pose. So we're just on our side of our bodies. We're going to keep that arm that's connected, that's closest to the earth, nice and straight. So basically, the body looks like a lowercase L. We can use that top hand to hold our bodies up if we are feeling a little wobbly. This here is an alligator's pose. We can option to lift the top leg up. Feel that there? This is the alligator's mouth. We're lifting up that top leg. In doing so, we are working the outer thighs. Feel that there? Now we can, if we have balance, we can actually breathe this top arm above our heads and connect our hands together. How our hands are connected in that salute. And we can relax our head on our arm. And when we are in this position, this is the alligator's tail. See that there, the hands together above the head? That's the alligator's tail. Our legs slightly apart. This is the alligator's mouth. Now, if the alligator is chewing, we can lift, pulsing the leg up and down, and we can really feel that burn. Or we can just simply just have the alligator's mouth open or closed. I'm going to keep mine open. Whatever you feel like, we are balancing here. We are strengthening here. In balancing this pose, we are balancing our lives. We are balancing who we are. We are creating strength. 4 breaths. Two breaths. Feeling that burn, right? Exhaling that leg down, closing the alligator's mouth. And let's flip on to the opposite side. Just allowing the body to turn over, coming to that opposite side. We're going to play with that alligator, working the opposite leg. So doing exactly the opposite of what we just did. Arm is above our heads, using this hand to balance our bodies. Once we find our balance, we can lift that leg up, opening up the alligator's mouth. We can formally form the alligator's tail by breathing that opposite hand above our head, connecting it together like we do in our salute, resting our head on our arm. Don't forget, we can option to allow the alligator to chew, lifting that leg up and down, feeling that burn. We can keep it still, or we can close that alligator's mouth. Whatever you need for your body. As we are balancing here, 4 breaths. Two breaths. Slowly closing that alligator's mouth. Maybe roll over to our backs, coming into a reclined position. Just rolling over. We are on our backs, breathing our knees, hugging our knees into our chest. Connecting the shoulder blades, the back blades to the yoga mat. Taking a nice breath. Exhale. As we allow the knees to flow towards the left, recline spinal twist, feeling that spine decompress and soothe. As our right arm goes out to the side. Now we can option to gaze over that right shoulder or gaze up at the heavens. Whatever feels best for you. 5 breaths. 2 more breaths. Exhaling back to center, hugging the knees into the chest. As our knees flows to the opposite side, in my case, knees flows to the right. Feeling that spinal twist, reclined spinal twist as that left arm comes out to the side. Optioning to gaze over that left shoulder or gazing upwards at the heavens. With our shoulder blades relaxed into the yoga mat, mind and body is soothing. 5 breaths. 2 more breaths. Let's roll onto our sides, coming into a fetal pose just for a couple moments. Fetal pose. Two more breaths. Slowly wiggling our toes and our hips as we use that top hand to lift the body up as we flow into a cow face legs, crossing one leg over the other. Cow face legs, easy seat, hero's pose, whatever feels best for you. Spinal cords are nice and elongated. Tummies are tucked in at the navel. Heart chakras lifted, chin is up. Shoulders are relaxed downward away from the ears. Breathing our palms at heart center. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. With the eyes gazed downward or closed. May we use this time to thank ourselves for allowing ourselves to practice self-care. For in a busy, busy world, it is a beautiful thing when we find time for self. And I would like to thank you all for allowing me to practice yoga with you here today, for it truly, truly is a blessing. The light in me sees, appreciates, and respects the light in you all. Namaste.